Out again, but why? Is it for the walk or is it for the photography? Let's talk about it. You can hear me above the roar of the water. Well, good morning, and we're out about in the Lake District again. And for those avid followers of my channel, if there are any, you're probably familiar with where I'm going. I'm just going for a local walk, and the walk today is to go up Walla Crag from home, walking from home to the top of Walla Crag and back down through Catgill and Great Wood. So that's the plan. But why have I only come here? Well, I've been struggling this last week, just getting on top of things, work, etc., and actually trying to think of somewhere to actually go. As I keep saying, I need to make a list, but the weather's not very brilliant, and as we're getting into winter, the days are getting shorter. So, but what inspired me to think about this was I'm in the 617 Club, which is an online photography club that was set up by is it Paul Baxter and Thomas Heaton? If I've got that wrong, I'll put the correct names up. And it's very good. And there was a presentation over the internet last night, and I can't remember the guy's name. I'll put the name up. And various things came up. And yeah, one question was raised: if you stopped doing photography, what would you do? And this is from a woodland photographer. He was saying, well, I'd still go in the woods, and to a certain extent I would still go out on the fells. So what I want to talk about as we go out and try and get some, and the other thing that inspired me about the talk was trying to get images that are a bit different, just keeping your eyes open, just seeing things. And it was talking about exclusion. So find your subject and then not exclude everything else, but only include those things that are important. Exclude most things, rather than just trying to think, oh, well, that's a nice subject in the big vista, just do that. So that's what's in mind for the photography as we go. But yeah, I wanted to talk about and think about, why do I actually come out? Why do I do these videos? I mean, I suppose that's in a sense two questions, because one is, why do I come out? And yeah, that's one thing. But if I'm out, the other question, having decided that I'm out, the other question is why do I video it? Maybe not so much going to look at that question today, but look at the first question. So anyway, we'll carry on and we'll see you a little bit later. Right, well, I've come up with my first composition, and this is something relatively new to me, so I'm not quite sure how well it will come out. But I don't know whether you can see just in front of us, there's a tree with, and I'm not sure what sort of tree, but with some very brown leaves on it, very dead brown leaves. But if we zoom out a bit, we can see to both sides there's some trees with still some green leaves on, and behind it there's greenery as well, and it just struck me, it just stands out. But just to comment this on last night's presentation, I mean, one thing was saying you don't need to have the sky in an image. Sometimes the sky can distract. And the other thing is you don't need to have the whole tree in the image. Sometimes having parting can stir the imagination. Well, how far does this go? How far does this grow? So, I don't know whether if I just bring up the back of the camera there, whether you can see that. I don't know how well you'll see it, but we're zoomed in a fair way, so we're not showing the sky, and we're just showing a good probably 10 foot of the tree with the brown leaves and the green leaves either side and the greenery behind. And I have got a polarizer on to try and enhance the colours. So yeah, it's a bit of a novelty for me, or new for me, so we'll see how it comes out. I wasn't quite sure what aperture to take, because I only really want the tree in focus. Everything else can be soft. I'm not over bothered about the sharpness of things in front, or particularly things behind. So I've got my 24-70 2.8 lens on, so I've basically gone in full stops from 2.8, then on to 4, 5.6 and 8. So that's 4 different apertures, and we'll see. It's partly a learning process, but I think sometimes to say you know and take one image and then find it's not quite what you want is not always a good idea. So yeah, we've taken those images. We'll see which is best, whichever's best. We'll put it up on the video, and I'm at full stretch. I at 70mm, so we may find that I will crop it a bit more in post-processing. But as I say, we'll put the image up on the video, and we'll see you a bit later. Right, I thought I'd talk as I walk, and you'll see for some of the B-roll that's probably just coming up, there was another little sapling tree similar to the first. It was quite distinct against its background. It was near the bridge, but unfortunately the angle wasn't right. I couldn't get the angle that I would have wanted to capture the image. It was just in the wrong place. So yeah, we're just carrying on up Walla Crag. And there's this question of, is it the walk or is it the photography? Well, all my life, as far as I can remember, I've been involved in both. As a child, at school we had a darkroom and we used to mess around and do things in the darkroom. At the same age, I was at a church with a rambling club and the boys' brigade, and did quite a lot of walking. I mean, in the summer before I went to university, three of us did the coast to coast. So obviously that shows I'm quite keen on walking. I did take the camera with me, but I don't think I got a lot of pictures. And then as time went on with family and growing up, although we moved to the Lake District and thought I'd be out in the fells a lot, work and family and that took precedence and that. But in the last few years, when I've changed my job where I've got a bit more time now, I'm self-employed, I could spend time doing both. And I'd got a bit of money, so I got the 5D Mark IV and thought I'd better take this a bit more seriously, and was into landscape photography and did like getting out. And then I set myself a challenge in my 60th year, which was 2020 to 2021. And I set myself various challenges, and the two that I achieved was I managed to do all 214 Wainwrights, and I did the Cumbria Way, which is a 5-day backpacking walk, which obviously shows I do like the outdoors and that. And everywhere I went, the camera goes with me. I've got a suitable bag that I could backpack, I could go up the mountains and that. But often when doing the Wainwrights, the prime objective and what took the time was getting up the Wainwrights, and there wasn't an awful lot of time for stopping, for fiddling around, taking images, although I did take some, but the main thing was getting out. So yeah, that just shows that I think it's the walking that draws me, and because I enjoy photography, I put the two together. But without the photography, I would still do the walking. With the photography, without the walking, whether I would do as much photography, I don't know, because that's what I enjoy. We'll talk about this a bit later when we get a bit more, but we're getting towards the top of Walla Crag. So anyway, we'll see you a bit later. Right, we've made it to the top of Walla Crag, and the view from here I think is quite stunning. A few years ago I used to do a bit of fell running, and my daily run would be to come up here and then go back down home being down over there. If you could work it out, could pick out my house from here, you can see it. Not quite sure exactly which one it is from here, but we're down there. So yeah, but just because of view, I was going to say, whenever you come up here, whatever the weather, the view is amazing. It can vary, but trying to capture it on a camera is quite difficult, and sometimes the weather doesn't help, it hinders. But the naked eye and the human spirit just presented with such awesome majesty, it just makes the whole trip worthwhile, whether you get a picture or not, whether the camera comes out or not. So yeah, I think this shows that the answer to my question is, which comes first, which is more important? Is it the walk or is it the photography? It's the walk and it's nature. I quite like doing cityscapes, and I quite enjoy walking around cities, but not as much as getting out into the wilds, into nature and that. I mean, as you can see, it's a bit chilly, the wind's come up. I was thinking of getting the drone up, but I think it's got too windy, and as you can see the sun's quite bright over there. So we're just gonna, we haven't got a huge amount of time, being as I say, getting into the back end of November. sunrise is quite late, sunset is quite early, so I haven't got a huge amount of time, and I didn't get myself going very early this morning. So yeah, we're just going to carry on and see if anything catches our eye, and if it does, we'll stop and take the image, and we'll probably vlog it. But if it doesn't, it's been a grand day so far, so we'll see you a little bit later. Right, well, we've just stopped to take some quick handheld images, and if you look over there, and I think the main one is Grange Fell. I was getting a bit mixed up, Grange Fell, and just below it is Castle Crag. But you can see the rays of sun coming down on it. I thought that was quite nice. So I've taken a number of handheld images. I'll take some more in a minute, and then we'll carry on down to Catgill. It just caught my eye and then it went, but it's come back. So yeah, we'll take some more. We'll put the best up, and we'll see you a bit later. Right, well, I've come up with another composition, and you can see the camera there with the 70 to 200 and it's at full zoom. So I am recording through the stills camera as well, so I can show you the image. I'll try and zoom in. You'll see there's some leaves there, and I'm just zoomed in on one leaf, and I'll maybe crop it a bit more because I'm at full stretch, and it'll be entitled something like The Last Leaf, and just excluding everything else that isn't important. I'm hoping it comes out alright. I've had to up the ISO to 1600 and to get a fast shutter speed, because at the moment it seems to be fairly steady, but when I'll maybe try taking it again, but when I was capturing the image, the leaf was moving about quite a bit, hence the high ISO and the large shutter speed. So yeah, I mean, this would have been inspired by last night's presentation. So yeah, we'll see how it comes out. If it's any good, we'll put it up on the video, and then we're going to head off back down Catgill. We're near the bottom, and then through Great Wood and home. So anyway, we'll put the image up, and we'll see you a bit later. Right, well, I've just stopped and taken some handheld shots with the long lens, and I don't know whether you can see there, that's looking over towards Cat Bells and the mountains behind, and I don't know whether you'll see this. I've zoomed it in, but there is still a little bit of colour in the cloud just above there. There was more, and I've captured that, and there was a cloud on whatever the mountain is round there. I'll have to work it out, and I managed to capture that. Whether they're any good or not, I don't know. If they're any good, we'll put them up on the video, and we'll see you a little bit later. Right, we're coming back into Springs Wood on the way back down. We came up through Springs Wood and then straight on to Walla Crag. And the way I've come back through Great Wood and joined the track to Walla Crag and turned back, and we're now coming back through Springs Wood. So yeah, it's been a good afternoon. I'm quite pleased, I'm quite happy. I mean, I've talked through, in a sense, talked out about this thing of why do I do it? Is it the landscape? Is it the walking? Is it the photography? And yeah, I've come to the conclusion, if I stopped doing photography, I'd still come out walking. If I stopped coming out walking, I might not do as much photography, because it is being out in the glorious majesty of nature and trying to capture bits of that. The reason I come, the reason for photography. So if I was restricted to where I could go, maybe the mojo for photography would. So in a sense, I come out for both, but the main reason is for coming out walking, and it's good to come out occasionally for a walk and not worry about the pictures. Obviously, the last video I did, which I must say has amazed me, it went live on Sunday. Today is Tuesday, so we're now nearly 48 hours since it went live, and it's had coming up to 800 views, which is the sort of level I would be pleased with for a whole week across all videos, let alone one video in 2 days. So that's very good. But on that video, I had a mission to capture the images of waterfalls in a particular way and show the blending of those images. So although yes, it was nice to get out and it was a nice walk and it's good to see them, you are slightly focused on the images, whereas today the idea was to come out and go for a walk, talk about what we've just been talking about, and if anything was to catch my eye, to capture that image. So that's what we've done. We'll have done, I would imagine by the time we get home, it's not far, about 5 miles. I've maybe gone up about 1,000 foot and down, but no, it's been good. It's always good to get out, although sometimes I struggle to get motivated. Once I'm out, I do really enjoy doing that. And yeah, inspired by the presentation last night about trying to exclude things and just concentrate primarily on the subject and just keep your eyes peeled. I've been impressed that in a sense, I've come up with 4 images-ish we'll see how they come out, that normally I probably wouldn't have even noticed or taken. The first one in Springswood of the tree with the very brown leaves with the greenery around, and just trying to capture just part of it, not the whole tree, just part of that to get the feel of it. And then as we're coming off Walla Crag towards Catgill, there was the sun rays, God rays, whatever you want to call them, shining round about, I think it's Grange Fell and Castle Crag, and I stopped to take those with the long lens. Ideally, it would have been nice to have an even longer lens, but at 200 I think we'll have got a reasonable image. And then going down through Catgill, we spotted the tree with very, very few leaves on, and again with the long lens at full stretch, and not that I was that far away, but zooming in on just one leaf, and hopefully that'll come out. And then finally, which was just a few moments ago, there's some colour in the clouds over catbells, etc., and again with the long lens at full stretch, try and capture in those. So hopefully all those will have come out and are a little bit different. But yeah, no, it's been a good day. We've realised why we've come out walking, and it's for the walking with the photography as an added bonus. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what will be next. One of these days I will come up with a list, and then we can work through that list and tick things off. So you'll have seen the map where I've been. It's yeah, it's very local. As I said, I've walked from home, walking back to home, and I've done probably about 5 miles at the end. So yeah, just to remind people, if you've enjoyed the video, please click the thumbs up. If you enjoy what I'm doing, why not subscribe? Both those help the channel, and as do comments. If there's anything at all, please do comment, whether it's positive, negative, a question, or just say you enjoyed it. They're all greatly appreciated. So yeah, at that point we'll say we'll see you on the next video.